How's it going, y'all? This is OBB, the Diecast News Guy, bringing you guys with another classic diecast review that I got from my good buddy known as Race Day 2011. And I've had this diecast for quite a while now, and I decided, hey, it's going to be another diecast that I think could not come any more time sooner to review, considering the recent news about Mr. Seven-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson. This is going to be on Jimmie Johnson's 2014 Lowe's playoff chase for the Cup car. Well, this is when they had the chase, but you know what I mean. The chase, the playoffs, whatever you want to call it, it's got yellow on it, which is pretty cool. But this was the first year that they implemented the yellow numbers and the yellow window banners and the yellow splitter and yeah, just yellow splitter. There's no yellow spoiler. But yeah, I mean, definitely a diecast that is pretty, obscure to say at the very least. But for anybody who's a big fan of his 2012 and 2013 Lowe's card, then this one should look quite familiar. But without further ado, enough of me just rambling on, let's get on to the diecast review and the official unboxing of Jimmie Johnson's 2014 Chase for the Cup Lowe's card. And alrighty guys, we got this diecast salvage box, and my god, this is such an iconic paint scheme for Jimmie Johnson for pretty much well-known reasons. I mean, I wouldn't say 2014 was probably the best year for Jimmie Johnson, because you guys know at the end of the day, he was not your Cup Series champion. He was still a 5-time Cup Series champion at the end of this 2014 season. That went to Kevin Harvick. But heck, for anybody who was a fan of his championship winning season in 2013, which was, his 6th championship, which I still couldn't believe. I mean, Jimmie Johnson is already a legend of his own, and he was able to go and get his 6th championship following that year, and then going on to win his 7th and final championship in 2016. But dude, let me tell you what, man, this Jimmie Johnson Lowe's diecast, I mean, it's not a Lowe's diecast unless you got that nice white or yellow 48 and the blue background. Pretty iconic, but of course this diecast also, of course, I mean, this paint scheme is actually based off of his 2012 and 2013 car. So basically a little context behind this, guys. I mean, as you guys know, I mean, this paint scheme is pretty much well known for him winning the championship in 2013 and also winning the 500 in that same year. So even though it wasn't really the most, exciting 500, since it was just, follow the leader, train racing throughout the whole race. But regardless, not, man. I mean, a 2-time Daytona 500 champion. I mean, could be a 3-timer if he ends up qualifying this year's for this year's Daytona 500. As you guys know, he is going to be driving the number 84 Carvana car, making his return in NASCAR, which is really cool. I mean, for the newly branded Legacy Motor Club or Motor Team, whatever it's called. But just, dude, let me tell you what, as you guys know, that's basically what Petty GMS is. The name does sound pretty generic, but on paper it makes sense, because 2 7-time champions, Richard Petty and Jimmie Johnson. So can't get any more legendary than that. But this paint scheme is actually supposed to be based off of his car that he raced at Charlotte. I mean, a very well-known track that was known as Lowe's Motor Speedway, because Jimmie Johnson just freaking owned that track in the early days of his in the early days, or his prime days of his career. But just so iconic, man. And a little backstory about this Jimmie Johnson car, because at 2014, so like I said, in 2012 and 2013, they mostly had the blue background with the white racing stripe, which racing stripes are so damn badass. I mean, we still had them like in the later years in NASCAR with Chase Elliott and William Byron and many others. But just, yeah, they decided to invert the colors for 2014, which I guess was kind of like bad luck, because first of all, that if you guys actually do have the white version of this car, which the colors are just inverted, it's on the WLS mold, which sucks. A lot of his primaries for this year in 2014 were mostly on the WLS car, but this one, I'm glad it's on the EL mold. And I don't know, guys. I mean, I think later on they switched out the white and went back to blue, I think during the Bristol August race, I believe. So the Bristol night race, which makes sense, because back, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the inverted colors that we had from 2014, but just the blue with white letters and accents just looks so much better, guys. I mean, I understand they were trying to go with a different paint scheme change, because, he was already dominant in this car last year, for the year follow, in 2013. But just, yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know, and call me crazy, guys, the yellow playoff banners look really nice. You get the nice little yellow splitter and the the playoff markings right there, Chase for the Cup playoffs, or you want to call it, the yellow number, and the yellow window banner, which I do miss those yellow window banners. I think they look pretty darn nice. I'm kind of glad the spoiler wasn't colored, because it would kind of off-color the paint scheme. And we got a little bit of a smear right here. It kind of looks like this might be a race version, guys. A little bit of a green mark right there on the Goodyear logo. That's definitely not going to be a good one to showcase. But yeah, I mean, as you can see right there, Jimmie Johnson had already scored 3 wins in 2014. So, it was still a relatively good year for him, but just it wasn't like, I don't know, like total domination like he had in the years prior. But heck, man, I mean, literally we know that he would come back again, 2 years later and win his 7th championship and his final one for his full-time NASCAR Cup Series career. But yeah, I mean, this is of course going to be a great, a prelude to all the Jimmie Johnson fans who are my good friends and also fans of this channel. You guys know who you are, so hopefully you guys are having a ball with this, and hopefully I'm doing the best I can to, entertain y'all, because heck, this Jimmie Johnson car, it's iconic, pretty much iconic, guys. I'm really liking the look of these Chevrolet SS cars, guys. I mean, I didn't really like them before. I thought they'd look too generic, but you know what, man, there's part of me that kind of misses the roundness that the Chevrolet Gen 6 car has, man. I don't know. I mean, call me crazy. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, Monte Carlos are better. Yeah, they are, but just, I don't know. I think Chevrolet has never had a bad-looking car, to be honest with you. The Camaros have always looked good. The Monte Carlos, the Impalas. I mean, comment below which Chevrolet model have you guys liked the best on a NASCAR stock car. I still think the Camaros or the Monte Carlos are probably my favorites. I mean, probably the Monte Carlos, especially the ones from 2001 with the curved spoiler and the boxy, Gen 4 style. I mean, my God, those things are so iconic. But give you guys a nice little 360 view of this iconic car, the Lowe's. And I keep saying iconic because it is, because no other driver can perform well than Jimmie Johnson in that 48 Lowe's car. I mean, as much as I like Bowman, but heck, we are not going to see Lowe's or total domination in the 48 car for quite a while now. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bowman is a great driver, but I don't think he's going to be like total dominant like what this champion is. But yeah, feel free to comment below if you have anything else to share about this diecast. This is going to wrap up the diecast review of the Jimmie Johnson 2014 Lowe's Chase for the Cup Chevrolet Camaro. Well, it is not a Chevrolet Camaro. Wow, God. And I call myself a NASCAR fan. This is a Chevrolet SS, dipshit, for 100 Motorsports. Comment, like, subscribe, and this has been OBB, the diecast news guy. And now I'm going to go and wallow in self-pity and remind myself what a difference is between a Camaro and a Chevrolet SS. Good night, everybody.